Previously on Alan Wake, Alice has been kidnapped.
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
I can't tell anyone except my agent Barry.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her.
You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head.
The ransom is a manuscript I supposedly wrote that's coming true before my eyes.
It happened just the way it was on that page. So dark.
I have found only a few scattered pages.
I want the entire manuscript.
The deadline is in 2 days.
I found Mr. Wake's
To be fair, this is also how I feel when I have a writing deadline, so I've got to give him
How
that.
the hell did she get her hands on the manuscript anyway?
I don't know. She's resourceful. I told you you were too hard on her. Listen, I found out all sorts of interesting stuff while I was digging around.
Yeah.
Mr. Wake, it's Sheriff Breaker. We have an FBI agent here, Agent
Here we go.
FBI.
He's anxious to see you. You'd better come to the station.
Okay, I'll be right over.
We're gonna
Sheriff.
meet Agent Nightingale at last.
Let's make this quick, huh?
Help you folks? Name's Randolph. I'm the manager.
We're looking for Rose. Works as a waitress down at the diner.
Rose, sure. Nice girl. Who wants to know?
I'm Alan Wake.
The writer, huh? I heard on the radio you were visiting. Well, I'll show you her trailer. That Rose, she's a nice girl. Always pays her rent on time.
As I was saying, Al, I found all sorts of weird stuff from the local newspaper's archives. This place is crazy. Disappearances, mysterious deaths, urban legends come true, and get this, most of this stuff takes place around Cauldron Lake.
Well, you ain't wrong, mister. The Indians thought the lake was a doorway to the
God.
underworld. I'm the God-fearing type myself. I don't hold with that sort of
Okay,
thing.
racist.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, there was an island there owned by a guy called Thomas Zane. Now, some of the articles I found about him make him out to be a famous writer, but I ran a bunch of searches, couldn't find a single thing he wrote. Zane was heavily into diving, so much so that the place came to be called Diver's Isle. But the volcano under the lake erupted in 1970, and Zane went down with the island.
Right, okay. This part is also giving, just in terms of constantly talking about the David Lynch influence here, it's vaguely giving the kind of first part of Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me, where the FBI agents search the trailer park for Teresa Banks' trailer.
It gets better. A local girl, Barbara Jagger, drowned in Cauldron Lake just a week earlier. They were lovers.
Sure, Jagger's a local spook store. The Scratching Hag comes for you in the dark. Childish stuff like that.
Amazing
Anyway,
that
Al,
people from India thought that about a place outside of India. I know, it's so crazy, isn't it, Dan?
I'm just getting to the best part. All of the articles about this stuff were written by Cynthia Weaver. I asked around, and she's that crazy
Bag ladies! I'm sorry, this is crazy. They literally... They replaced the log lady with a bag lady. A crazy bag lady. That's so funny.
What, the lamp lady? She can be a
The
little
lamp
loopy, but
lady
she's not
slash
homeless.
bag lady.
Yeah, anyway.
Sorry, no, they
she
replaced the log lady with the lamp lady. This is so...
Jagger and Zane before they both died, and she had some kind of a breakdown.
Tuned back in just in time for that. Nice one. Where's the crazy cat lady? I don't know. Are you familiar with Twin Peaks, Dan? Because we're doing... This is a, like, ostensibly Twin Peaks inspired game, so I'm doing a lot of talking
Well, mister,
about that.
this here's Rose's trailer. You mind me asking what you want with her?
We're just here to talk to her, pal.
Okay, well... Let's talk to Rose. Alan was treating Rose like a piece of shit earlier, so... I hope it goes better this time, but I have no control over what Alan says or does, so... I will not be held responsible.
Welcome to... Oh dear, Mr. Wake. I'm so glad you're here.
Rose, you have my manuscript?
Oh. Oh, yes. Yes. Please, come in.
Okay, fair enough, yeah. I've been talking a lot about that, so apologies if any of the, like, Twin Peaks chat is kind of going... is not interesting for people who haven't watched Twin Peaks, but it's hard for me not to pick up on a lot of that stuff. I am, speaking of crazy cat ladies, my cat is hanging around, so she might end up jumping up here. We'll see how it goes.
Hey, this is really good.
Rose,
Yes,
my manuscript. I really need it.
I understand. I know what you need. A muse to inspire you.
Oh, for Barry. She doesn't
What
have
a
any.
dick! There's clearly something wrong with her, and he's just like, do you have my manuscript? Do you have my manuscript? Ah, she doesn't have my manuscript!
Yeah, hey, Al, what's... Oh...
Barry! What?
Honestly, go off, Rose. Get him. Fucking kill him. Me rooting so hard against the character that I'm playing.
It's coming for you, hiding in my barber's skin. I'm too weak to stop it. You must turn the lights on.
I promised I'd come visit you and your lovely wife. You must finish what you started. I insist.
Oh, here she is.
You
Hi,
must turn the
Layla.
lights on. Turn the light on.
Back to work, boy.
Okay, in someone's bedroom. Looks like a girl's bedroom.
I felt nauseous, hungover. Only anger kept me going.
I'll angle the camera down so you can see her. Hi, Layla. I hope you can hear her purring because she's up close to the mic right now. This is Layla. I don't think you guys have ever met her before on stream. Adopted her in December. She's named after Layla Khalid, the Palestinian revolutionary, and as such she is an icon, just like her namesake. She's very rebellious when we try and give her medication, so I feel she really lived up to that name. Oh, she's such a sweetie. She's very nervous and spends a lot of time hiding, but she also loves to be fussed over. And she's figured out she can climb on my desk when I'm like working or playing video games, and she loves doing it when I'm playing video games here, because in my bedroom, as opposed to like sometimes I do in the living room, because she can just sit here and I'm not like leaning over to try and type on the keyboard or do my work or anything. Such a good baby. Who's a good girl? Okay. You can sit here. I can give you pets occasionally.
I can't tell reality from dream anymore, but it seems I have an imaginary editor to help me. She's an old woman in a funeral dress. I call her Barbara Jagger. She's very strict. I'm writing faster and faster. My manuscript is being heavily revised. The edits are getting very aggressive, and each day there's less of me and more of her. I hate it, but I know she's right.
Huh. Okay, so the woman in the funeral dress is his manuscript editor, which is interesting. I've been doing some reading about Layla Khaled. She's very cool. She's very cool. I think she's still alive and still doing stuff and still speaking on stuff, and she's very, very cool.
She promises me I can save Alice this way. She knows more of this than I do. About the complex incantation I'm attempting. About this place. She's worked with another writer under similar circumstances, Thomas Zane. The genre of the story seems to be shifting. It's turning into a horror story. I'm getting close. I can feel it.
Okay. Honestly, like, some of the stuff, again, there's like some cool elements about this game, and I wish it was just like, yeah, I don't know. I wish a lot of it was like better done, I think, because there's some very compelling stuff about it. Hi. Also, look at Rose's fucking bed. I think this is Rose's bedroom, and there are roses on her pillow, which is quite funny. She just has a fucking wall of pictures of Alan Wake. And the candles next to it, like it's a shrine.
Rose took a day from me. I had less than 12 hours left to meet the kidnapper. All I could do was get Barry into the car, work something out once I got on the road.
Deadly Premonition. I've played Deadly Premonition before.
Barry was at it. He was way too heavy to carry.
Deadly Premonition is like terrible, but I sometimes when I'm in the mood for it, I enjoy replaying it. So Deadly Premonition is another Twin Peaks inspired game. It's pretty bad, but sometimes when I'm in the mood, I'm like, I want to play a really bad game in a like campy, fun way. And sometimes Deadly Premonition hits the spot. Sometimes it goes a little too far in the direction of being like very offensive and a bit janky, but sometimes I can have a fun time playing Deadly Premonition. Hey Rose, are you okay? I know that Alan Wake is not going to ask you whether or not you're okay because he's a dickhead and he doesn't care, but...
Welcome to the Oh Dear Diner. What can I get you today? Coffee?
I couldn't work up much hate for Rose. Something had used her to get to me and left its mark.
First refill is free. Milk and sugar on the counter there. Would you like to hear today's specials? Thank you. A nice day. Come back soon.
Poor Rose. Fuck Barry, though. Okay. It wants me to leave the trailer, but I'm just having a bit of a look around. But I think that's all there is.
My gun and flashlight were gone. I'd have to find a way to get Barry into the car as quickly as possible. There was no time to waste.
Okay, let's check out the manuscript page.
Mr. Randolph liked Rose. That little smile she had. How she was still sweet when life had tried so hard to make her bitter. It wasn't any of his business what she did in her trailer. But those strangers, the writer and his smart-ass sidekick, looked like trouble. And they'd been in there for hours, way past her normal bedtime. He reached for the phone and called the sheriff's station.
Yeah, she was looking at the game. You were looking at the game, weren't you? Do you want me to give you the controller, Layla? Get to the car. I was very disappointed with the driving gameplay, which made me sad because, again, if there's one thing about me, it's that I love driving in a video game. I love it in Cyberpunk 2077, but I mostly have GTA mostly so that I can drive in it, because I just really like driving around, and so much of that game is just driving around. When it asks me to do other things, I'm like, okay, I guess, but mostly I'm just here to drive from point A to point B. Okay, once again, where is the car exactly?
I just stepped outside to catch a breath of fresh air, and let me tell you, the weather's getting heavy. Nights like this make me especially glad I'm here talking to you and not home in bed. Once the weather takes a turn like this, I can't sleep at all. It's all tangled bed sheets and dark thoughts, punctuated by the occasional plunge into nightmare. Is it just me? Well, perhaps it is. But I hope I can make the night a little bit easier to get through. Caller, you're on KBF FM. What's on your mind, Walt?
Well, I ain't the way you are, bud. Well, I can't sleep here, you know? I just been staring out the window here, trying to make sense of it all, but I ain't been drinking either, you know?
Well, you sound like a man with a problem, Walt.
Yeah, I had a, argument with Danny. You know, Danny, and, then I got in trouble with the law, you know, and, I'm just, well,
I heard something like that, Walt.
yeah, well, you know, he's, Danny's my best friend, and, they let me, mail today, and now I'm just alone here at the window, you know, waiting, man, and there's something in the air tonight, man.
I was just outside looking up at the sky above our broadcast tower thinking the same thing. What are you waiting for, Walt?
I don't know. You know, something's gonna happen. You know, I think I better go.
Walt, maybe...
No, thanks, Pat.
Well, good luck to you, Walt. Hang in there. Let's take a little break, folks. This weather's really something else, huh?
All I heard was GTA because I'm playing GTA. Right now, you're playing GTA right now, and threw a helicopter at a police station. Which was loud. Yeah, no, I was just saying, I play GTA
Oh, you're gonna get it now.
mostly so that I could drive around.
God knows what you've done to that poor girl.
This is Agent Nightingale, FBI! Get him up, Hemingway! You're under arrest! You move a muscle, I'll unload right in your goddamn face! Stay right where you are, Spillane!
Wow. Oh, this is funny.
What are? I'm standing right here, you goddamn maniac!
I hated to leave Barry behind. but
Also
there was no
driving
way
in
I'd miss my
Saints
appointment
Row,
with the
yeah,
kidnapper.
for sure. Escape the police. Ah, shit. Shit. Well, it's gonna be hard, isn't it, Layla?
The kidnapper.
Ugh. Sorry, Rabbit Chick Chick, I'll get to your question in a second. Just gonna try and escape the police real quick. I recently played Fruit Bus and liked the driving. Ooh, I'll try and keep that in mind. I just really like driving in a video game. I really do.
Stop running!
got the suspect in sight.
I'm not recommending Fruit Bus. Okay, I've never heard of it before, so I don't know what the drama is.
Oh, damn.
This is quite interesting in terms of, like, you know, what we were saying before about the light.
Oh, damn it! You see him? Over here! Right from here! There he is! Oh, damn it! Where'd he go?
The kidnapper.
Take it easy on us, Mr. Wake. There is a lot of imagery going on with these lights. I feel that these lights are symbolizing something about the veil between dream and reality. Yeah, now you're running from the light. It's also reminding me of that one part in Life is Strange that I always struggle with, which is when you're in the nightmare sequence in episode 5. And all of the men in this like nightmare landscape are looking for Max with flashlights, and you have to run away from the light. Which is like, I always struggle so much with that part because like it's really scary and I genuinely find it quite like triggering. But it is really good. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the game. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to escape the police here. Layla, have you got any ideas? Somewhat moving these lights in patterns.
There!
Shit.
There he goes! Okay, men, keep your eyes peeled. He's gonna try to make it through here.
Oh, damn.
Where did he go? Man out! Over here! He was right there! I lost him! He got away! Guys, I lost him! God damn it! Where did he go? He slipped away! Keep an eye out!
Layla's ideas are angry glare. Layla says, revolution, meow. Fuck the police. You're right, Layla. As you can see, I'm trying to hide from the police right now. These fucking corp bastards. Shit. Fuck Alan! Fuck Alan! Jesus fucking Christ, Alan. Ugh. He's useless. Layla, isn't he useless?
The kidnapper.
Give it up, Mr. Wake! Come on! Make it easy on him! Get after him! Don't let him get away! Move it! Move it! Move it! I'll have your chance if you let him get away!
definitely trying to figure out how I'm supposed to get through this part. But I definitely think I'm on the right track here, but then...
There he goes! Okay, man. Keep your eyes peeled. He's gonna try to make it through here.
Oh, damn.
This way! Fan out! Over here! Over here! I'm aiming! You see him? Wait! God damn it! Where did he go? He slipped away!
Okay, I might just keep following the path and hope for the best. Okay. Sorry. Again, I know that, Rabbit Chick Chick, you had a question, and I'm gonna come back to that. I just want to get through this segment first.
He's gone! Come on, guys! We need to head him off!
Checkpoint reached. Slay.
For decades, the darkness that wore Barbara Jagger's skin slept fitfully in the dark place that was its home and prison. It was hungry and in pain. It dreamed of its nights of glory when the poet's writing had called it from the depths and given it a brief, terrible taste of power and freedom. The rock stars had stirred it from the deep sleep the poet had sunk it back to in the end. When it sensed the writer on the ferry, it opened its eyes.
Okay. So it's implying that some kind of dark presence was sleeping inside Barbara, who is a poet. Barbara's the woman who is slaying in funeral wear. Sheriff applying serious pressure on the deputies by threatening to fire them if they don't apprehend you. And it's literally they're just going after some guy, and I don't even remember why. Hold on. Stop running! Gunshot. Choking someone to death. Stop resisting! That's cops for you. Tangentially related, can you think of any games that feel more closely connected to David Lynch's work? I would have to play more, but of the ones that I have played, in some ways I think that Life is Strange is one of the best, but it's not the most Lynchian because it doesn't really become like particularly surreal or strange until like the final episode, and it doesn't quite have like the strangeness of a lot of Lynch's work or the abstractness or any of that really until the final episode, which has a lot of my favorite stuff. When it kind of really starts going off the rails with some of the like surrealism, but in the sense that it has a mystery and a spirituality to it that is unique to Lynch, in my opinion, amongst like a lot of Western directors, like famous Western directors, like particularly like famous like surrealists and famous Western directors. I think that, you know, it's a culture, of course, that's very like atheist and even anti-theist sometimes, and a lot of art can be quite like anti-spiritual and anti-religious. And one of the things that I love about Lynch is that he was a very spiritual man. Like, as a person, he was very spiritual, and his work is very spiritual, or a lot of it is, and he's just very tapped into this kind of peace with the unknown and the unknown isn't intrinsically evil, it's just mysterious, and there's like an evil and also a beauty to it. And Life is Strange has that feeling of mystery and that feeling of spirituality. It's a little rough around the edges, especially because the spirituality is like connected in an appropriative way to Native American spirituality in particular. So there's definitely some roughness around the edges in that. And there's a lot to be critiqued about, in particular Twin Peaks, when it comes to Lynch's work, in terms of like also the role of native characters and native imagery. Although actually I think that Life is Strange is worse in that regard in some ways. But Life is Strange has that, and it also has the political dimension in a lot of ways, which is that the mystery at the heart of Life is Strange ends up fundamentally having to do with the patriarchy and patriarchal violence. And Life is Strange is very much centered on like teenage girls and women and their experiences of patriarchal violence, and also centers them more by like, you know, you're playing as Max, and Max is kind of the detective of the unknown, of both the like, you know, supernatural mystery and the kind of like murder mystery of it all. And so those kind of elements about Life is Strange, I think, are more spiritually in the realm of being a powerful homage to Twin Peaks. There's things about it that aren't particularly Lynchian, for sure, but of the games that I have played where there's been like a clear Twin Peaks influence in particular, I think it's one of the better ones, and I'm not just saying that because that's a game that I've been obsessed with for 10 years. But I would have to play more. Like, I still need to play Silent Hill, I still need to finish Control and play some of these other games, and I'm sure that there's like some indie titles out there that would be worth checking out as well. So far for me, really, it's Alan Wake now, and Life is Strange, and Deadly Premonition that I have played. So, yeah, and I also, I would love to play more like indie games that are like more abstract or surreal, because I think that probably you would find some stuff there that might be very in keeping with like David Lynch's work, possibly, I don't know. But something I always find interesting is, again, I guess earlier I was talking about like how commercially viable David Lynch was in some regards, or at least at a certain point in his career, and then not later on. And a lot of these games are specifically inspired by Twin Peaks, and I would just it would just be cool to see more influences from other places. But after I watched Mulholland Drive, I saw shades of Mulholland Drive in Life is Strange, which I found really interesting as well. Like the Two Whales diner, and I know that there's like diners and that kind of thing in a lot of Lynch, and you could compare the Two Whales to the Double R from Twin Peaks, but the Two Whales also gave me a sense of Winky's Diner from Mulholland Drive, and Winky's Diner has, you know, the mysterious houseless person behind the diner, and there's a lot to be said about that, which I'll save for another time. But when I watched Mulholland Drive, I was like, oh, I wonder if, like, you know, the houseless woman behind the Two Whales Diner in Twin Peaks, in Life is Strange, that's maybe kind of that. And then there's also, like, the color blue and the way that that appears in a lot of David Lynch's works, like Blue Velvet, of course, but also Mulholland Drive, very strongly with the blue key and the blue box. And in some other places in Lynch's work, and blue is such a such a important color in Life is Strange as well, and that was, yeah. So having seen more of his work as well, I was like, I feel that there are, you know, other broader influences here, and I think that that's also something I really like about it. It's not just like a superficial, like surface level Twin Peaks references like the way that you get in something like this or Deadly Premonition. It feels like it has, you know, I feel like there's a deeper understanding and deeper inspiration from Lynch's work there in the Don't Nod team, and they do something that's very their own and very different as well, but has that inspiration, and I think that it's awesome. Yeah, sorry, very long answer, but at this point in time, that would be my answer. Layla is very much like, why are you not petting me? I'm literally right here. And I know that like some of the Don't Nod team like posted homages to David Lynch recently, and I remember seeing like the screenshots from Mulholland Drive in Michelle Koch's posts and being like, I had a feeling that maybe you'd watched that movie and maybe there's something going on there. But also Hideo Kojima posted an homage to David Lynch, and he was like, I'm rewatching Mulholland Drive because David Lynch has passed away and I feel so sad. And I was like, it makes sense for Hideo Kojima. And I've only played Metal Gear Solid 5 and seen a little bit of Death Stranding, but I really wanted to potentially do some Death Stranding streaming at some point, because Hideo Kojima is I can totally see how Hideo Kojima is inspired by David Lynch, even just from playing Metal Gear Solid. 5 is the least Kojima-y one, apart from Survive. I've got to play the others. Yeah, sorry, I've only played Ground Zero and The Phantom Pain. That's the names of those. It's only right for a video essayist to give a long, detailed, and informed answer. Why, thank you, Dan. That's very flattering. As opposed to telling me to shut up, which you would also be within your right to do. But then again, why do you guys come to my streams except to hear me do my thing? So fair enough. Oh jeez. Okay, things are happening. Okay, things are happening, I guess.
This horror was everywhere I went, circling me. The cops didn't stand a chance. They were after a writer, not a monster.
That's hilarious. Are you telling me that geek writer did that? You know what? I hate cops, but she's real for that. The best Metal Gear Solid is Revengeance for both good and bad reasons. Okay. I've got a few Metal Gear Solids on PlayStation 3, but I gotta figure out how to hook the PlayStation 3 up to the thingy-majiggy. Otherwise I'll have to play them in my free time without you guys. More birds. I don't think I have any weapons back, so just a minute. Okay. I feel that Death Stranding could be a much stronger game if all dialogue and text was removed. Wow.
I could see the lights at the radio station in the distance.
Am I headed to the radio station? Or what? I feel that I have escaped the police at this point, but, like I'm looking for a new objective now, you know?
This is James. Mulligan, Thornton, come in. Over.
Thornton here. James, we got both Wheeler and Rose in custody. They didn't put up a fight or anything. Why, they were... Hey, what are you... Come on!
Sit down and give me that. James, Mulligan here. Over. Go ahead, Mulligan. Over. We got Wheeler and Rose here. Wheeler's drunk or hopped up on something. Speaking of which, that Fed had a pretty distinctive whiff of Otis Scotch about him, if you know what I mean. Over. I don't have anything on that, Deputy Mulligan. Over. Well, whatever. Anyway, Rose is just being plain weird here. You better get Doc in to take a look at both. Over. Gotcha. You better get them here quickly. The Fed's gonna want to interview Wheeler. Over. Oh, yeah, I bet he does. Looks like they have a lot in common. Mulligan out.
Death Stranding is a perfect game because if you stare at Norman Reedus' crotch for too long, then he beats the shit out of you. Well, that's hilarious. Okay, well, I guess this probably wasn't where I was meant to be going, so... Where do we go from here, huh? Well, he did point out the radio station, but... Should I head to the radio station? It's really unclear. And his outfit is stupid. She was real for saying that. Okay, well, as far as I can tell, if I'm gonna go to the radio station then. How do we get there? God, Alan, you also really need to work on your cardio, buddy. Oh, okay, that's open now. Maybe it was before and I just didn't see it.
I imagine that the broadcast tower in the distance was part of the local radio station. Maine seemed like a decent guy. Perhaps he could give me directions to the coal mine.
Right, okay.
Unnatural shadows. The darkness that was after me was trying to stop me. I wouldn't get through without a light.
Okay, but I don't have a flashlight anymore, so I guess... I just gotta... do another generator. Rest in peace, Club Penguin. Why would that break the spotlight. There we go, there's a flashlight. Cool. There was a group of people trying to rewrite it in C++ under the educational license, but Disney said, we can do what we want, and got it taken down.
It took me a moment to recognize the flashbang grenades. They were an ideal weapon for my situation.
Despite being legally allowed to exist. Well, that sucks, but Disney would do that because profit. Sucks. Nice.
And here's another call. You're on KBFFM with Pat Maine.
It's Milt Peabody, Pat.
What's on your mind, Milt?
Well, I live near the trailer park, Pat, and there's a big ruckus going on over there.
Well, that's just up the road from me, too. What's going on, do you know?
I don't know, but there's a bunch of police cars there, lots of sirens, a helicopter buzzing around, and I think I heard some gunshots.
Gunshots?
Yes, sir, like from a pistol. So can you find out what's going on? Because it's just next door, and they're popping off guns there.
They're still shooting?
No, it was maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. It sounds serious, Pat. I'm telling you, it don't sound like no party.
I'm certainly going to give the station a call, Milt.
Okay.
You'll hear it here as soon as I hear from them.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. I mean, these radio segments are just not that interesting. I'm trying to, like, give it a chance, but it's just... Boom! This really is just getting lost in the woods, the game. Like, where am I going? How do I get to the goddamn radio station? First the cops, now the shadow buddies. There's a bridge bridge there. Looks like. That's something. Okay. What if it was called Alan Bake and you just made macarons and smoked weed? That'd be funny. Definitely be a lot funnier than what's going on now. Macarons is a pretty advanced bake to go for like the first one. Oh, in honor of David Lynch, I recently made some cherry pie. It was my first time making short crust pastry from scratch, and it was really fucking good. I gotta tell you that. So another couple of flashbangs. It was vegan as well. It was a damn good cherry pie. If I do say so myself. And short crust pastry is pretty easy to make, so I will be making it again soon. Because I live in the UK at the moment where it's not super easy to get your hand on like sweet pies. But I love sweet pies. Like, I love them. So much. Love cherry pie, love apple pie, love pumpkin pie. And these are not easy things to get here.
I hope Maine could lend me a car to get to the coal mine.
So I'm very excited that I can now make them from scratch. .6 KBF FM, Bright Falls Radio. Early bird, start your day right, 7 to 10 a.m. The Night Owl, the voice of Pat Maine all night, every night. And that's the guy that we met on the ferry boat.
Thank you very much for that compassionate viewpoint.
I assume we're going to meet him again here. Haven't gotten many manuscript pages so far. Might just be because I'm doing a bad job.
The famous writer Alan Wake just walked in, folks. I'm gonna see if I can talk him into an interview.
Here we go.
Come on in, Mr. Wake. Oh, I'm so glad you could find the time to do this, Mr. Wake.
Nowhere to run now, Dan Brown. You back away from me. Don't hurt it.
Whoa.
Not Dan Brown.
Calm down. Put the gun down. We're all friends here, right?
Cool your jets, Nightingale. We got him.
Cool your jets.
Judas Priest.
What the hell's
Judas
the matter
Priest?
with you? There's a
What are these
civilian in
people
there.
saying?
I'll get you yet, even if it kills me. You hear me? You hear me?
Stop just arbitrarily comparing
I had
him to
fallen off so
random
many cliffs it
writers.
was ridiculous. That's what you get for naming a book The Sudden Stop. It was probably good I hadn't had the chance to tell Maine where I was going. I'd have to lose the cops and find my own way to the mine. Nightingale stared through the broken studio window into the dark woods. He turned around, started to walk out, but Maine grabbed his arm. "Young man, you almost shot me. You don't shoot off rounds at people like that. What's the matter with you?" Nightingale shook his arm free, marched out. His cheeks burned with rage and humiliation.
Hell yeah, I love Judas Priest. Apparently so does FBI's Special Agent Nightingale. let's get this generator going. Okay, we got a gun. Finally. I don't blame you, Rabbit Chick Chick, because all of these fucking white dudes look the same, if you ask me.
There was no sensible reason for the power company work lights to be here. It was almost as if they'd been left for someone like me to use.
I love exposition. The darkness controls the Taken. Whoopsie daisy. Let's make his cheeks burn with remorse for recklessness. What do you mean? The white guy with the beard is Alan Wake. The white guy with the beard is Jeff. The white guy with the beard is, yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay. He's the white guy with a gun. That really clears it up, yeah. Yeah. You... Oof, shit. Stop pressing the wrong fucking button, me. There's a self-dig. Because I keep fucking pressing right button. Oh, hi again, Layla.
Hello?
The most stubborn man I've ever met.
Alice? Alice?
Alan, I'm so afraid. Keeps me in the dark. Please help me. I look at you, Alan, and it's not you. Something else. Looking out from behind your eyes.
Alice, I'm here.
I'm so
Very
alone.
Lost Highway.
It's all gonna go to hell. You need to be careful. Cooperate.
The connection had been terrible, but that wasn't the only thing that hadn't been right with the call. She sounded wrong somehow, but she had called me.
Honestly, she sounded so, like, over-the-top saccharine before that she sounded more normal on this phone call than she sounded in the scenes where we actually saw her. But that's just my opinion.
The pipe wrenched itself loose from the bridge's steel framework. Wrapped in darkness, it floated in midair, twitching. For a moment, I didn't understand what I was looking at. The heavy object lurched at me with impossible force. I threw myself out of the way, but just barely. When I turned my flashlight on it, it shook in a dark rage before it flew at me again.
Wow. I mean, everyone is out to get Alan Wake, and I can't really blame them.
I could see a railway bridge up ahead, and a warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore. I hoped I could find a car from there.
She sounded more upset about the power going out than being kidnapped. Yeah, that's fair enough. There's a lot of really powerful voice acting happening in this game, for sure.
The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
I just got murdered by a bridge. No, that's not something that happens to you every day.
I hoped I could find a car from there. The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
I'm really being terrorized by these fucking inanimate objects.
I slammed the door shut right in his smug face. He pleaded for me to open the door. True to form, the asshole actually thought I would obey. I had no sympathy left, no guilt either, not for him. I took a moment to savor the scream. I bet I had a smile on my face. It was all that I had time for. The dark presence was inside the lodge with me.
I have a question for Alan. Could we say the darkness wears your skin? I'm not sure. I can't comment on Alan's behalf, but... compelled.
As a teenager, just starting to get interested in writing, Stephen King had been a source of inspiration to me. I thought about all the inanimate objects that had come to life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story. Certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun. This was anything but. The darkness could possess anything, and it was getting closer.
Of course, Stephen King is his major inspiration. Find a vehicle. It's so frustrating how if this was a movie or something, then I could just be having fun watching Alan Wake get terrorized, but instead Alan Wake being terrorized means that I'm being terrorized, which makes it less fun.
The darkness surged towards me, sucking everything loose from the ground into its depths, tugging at my clothes. I saw the flare the kidnapper had dropped and threw myself towards it just as I felt my feet leave the ground. The darkness embraced me with the force of a tornado. Somehow I managed to light the flare. The darkness roared and cast me away. I fell toward the dark waters of the lake far below.
I swear to God, if I hear the word darkness one more time, I'm gonna lose my shit. Well, that's that. Oh shit. Am I right, gamers? Yeah, you're not wrong. Come on, Alan, there we go. Whew. Alright, I guess we're in a police cruiser. The darkness embraces Alan. That's nice. Yeah, he just wants a hug.
I had never been this glad to see the sunrise. I had a couple of hours to get to the coal mine.
I wonder if the darkness will swallow anyone. Or consume them. Yes, I wonder that as well.
The coal mine wasn't far now.
I'm hoping that it will consume Alan. I know that, you know, stop game roll credits if that happens, but still. Go to the coal mine.
Today, I would meet the kidnapper, and he would give me Alice. I wouldn't give him any other choice. A drowning man will clutch at a straw. Little by little, without realizing it, I'd come to believe that the story in the manuscript was coming true. The current of its narrative had taken me deeper and deeper into dark waters. Alice had been taken from me. Barry was probably in jail. I was a fugitive from the FBI. The whole world taken over by the dark presence was trying to destroy me. It all felt real, but it matched a textbook case of insanity.
Okay, buddy. It felt real, but it couldn't have been real because logic demands that it can't be real. Grow up. Grow up. Which textbook? Exactly. If you're reading the DSM-5 and trying to, like, tell me that anything in there is a fact, then I'm not gonna believe you. You know? Be fucking for real. Be serious. Be so fucking for real right now, Alan Wake. David Lynch would hate Alan Wake. Textbook hysteria, Alan. He's like, yeah, oh my god, women are so hysterical. My wife, Alice, who I'm trying to save, even though I hate her, is, hysterical all the time. Really, it's her fault I'm in this mess. These fucking hysterical women. Hold on, let me, have a pit stop here. See if I can find anything in the old tower. This is the tower I was in before. There might not be anything in here then.
This is Pat Main, and you're listening to KBF-FM. Folks, I want to apologize for kind of abandoning you to that looping music track last night, but I was detained. You see, I encountered a big shot G-man with an itchy trigger finger who could use a lesson in manners and a boot in the ass, not necessarily in that order either. Now, folks, I know I'm not being very informative here, and I apologize for that. I really should just keep quiet, but I'm just so peeved right now.
Yeah, fuck the cops.
I'm just glad that our sheriff
Okay, never mind, Pat.
And if someone I met last night is listening, let me just say, I'm sorry if my mouth got you in trouble. I'm pretty sure you're not the bad guy here.
No, I am.
I hope you know what you're doing.
By me, I mean Alan Wake.
On a lighter note, I'll be talking to Dr. Nelson all morning. But first,
I bet the G-man's cheeks are burning right now. Probably not, because cops are shameless. Oh, I'm stealing someone else's car. Okay. This is a nicer car, so... Fuck the police cruiser. I'm cruising in this baby. I just love driving in a game. Bright Falls Coal Mine. Here we are.
I was early. I was supposed to meet the kidnapper at noon in the main building. The coal mine was quiet. It was a museum now.
Okay. There's a manuscript page.
With Nightingale gone and the night wind blowing in through the broken studio window, Maine stared at Sara. The sheriff looked away. Maine's voice shook with barely controlled anger. That boy's doing more drinking than thinking. I hope you know what you're doing, Sara. He's got a sickness in his eyes. You take my word for it. He wants Wake for a reason, and it's not for anything good.
Ooh. Just need some music. You just need some music. I just love driving a car around in a video game listening to some music, man. That's the shit. Okay, so how am I getting in here? Museum entrance? In 1970, a volcanic eruption below Cauldron Lake, while relatively minor, caused most of the deep mining tunnels to collapse or flood. 32 miners lost their lives in the calamity, and all mining around Bright Falls came to a final stop. Now, many of the remaining buildings are protected as historical landmarks. Here we go.
I didn't want to go outside. Cops had to be looking for me. The noon sun turned the place into a sauna. The day dragged on. Different scenarios ran through my mind. Ways of how I'd torture the kidnapper to get Alice back. Or the different horrible things he could have done to her. I imagined her dead. I had no way of knowing she was still alive. It was killing me. I was running on blind hope. It was all a waste of time. The bastard never showed up.
I'm Alan Wake. I'm kicking things because I'm so angry.
Wake,
Where the hell are you?
change of plans. You know where Mirror Peak is? It's a big mountain north of where you are. You follow the path from the mine, you can't miss it. There's a lookout point there. I'll be waiting.
I'm through being jerked
You
around by
want
you.
to see your wife alive? Because if you do, you better watch what you say to me. Do we understand each other?
I want to talk to Alice.
Yeah, and I want the manuscript. Don't keep me waiting, Wake.
Hello? Hello! Ah!
I'm gonna kill him.
Ah!
I had to get to Mirror Peak.
I'm Alan Wake. I'm so scary.
It was close. Maybe closer than ever before.
Ooh, tell me more, Faye. Faye says, I feel like there's some similarities between this game and The Wolf Among Us. Which, funnily, was, I think that was the last game I streamed in 2024. Can't wait to torture the man who took his wife, and then as soon as he has his wife back, he'll start treating her like shit again. Can't wait. Ooh, manuscript page. You're killing me! Literally. Oh, that was a close call. Mainly white masculinity and gender roles and such. Yeah, I mean, I definitely get that, but I guess I mean in what way in particular? There's definitely, like, a thing that's a thing in a lot of games, which is, like, a man has gotta, like, feel like he's saving a woman, but then at the same time is treating her like shit. Whatever. Oops. That was a close call. These inanimate objects are really, really packing a punch. Okay, where do I go from here?
What the hell?
It's...
The only way to reach the hillside ahead was to go through the building. I had to find a way to avoid electrocution.
It's funny because again, there is stuff about this game, like elements that I think could have been really cool or really impactful. So it does make me kind of like, you know, definitely interested in Alan Wake 2 in the sense that, like, you know, if it delivers better on some of this stuff, then that's pretty exciting. Slay. Yeah, some of the sound design with like the screaming getting closer into your ears and stuff is pretty good. And Jesus fucking Christ. Dead. Okay. Wish I had more flashbangs right now, but this will just have to do. Honestly, it says a lot that even inanimate objects are out to get Alan Wake in terms of, like, how much he sucks. Nice. Slow and steady. There we go. Alright. They're here! Achievement unlocked. I was like, yay, more driving! And then I realized that I have to go up here, I think. Boo. Close call. What really made me think of The Wolf Among Us was Alan Wake getting mad and breaking things. Yeah, that makes sense. I also love that we're just full naming him every time. But I guess now that I think about it, that's a common trope in video games and media, particularly with a male protagonist. Yeah, it definitely is. Men are always breaking shit, and that's like being normalized in media, like all of the time. Ooh, a cup of coffee on a chair. I'm sure that that's fine.
Some of the Taken retained echoes of their former selves, but these were just the nerve twitches of a dead thing. Nothing remained but a shell covered and filled with darkness. In most cases, these puppets were enough for the purposes of the dark presence. But for anything more elaborate, as with the writer, it was different. It needed his mind. And so rather than taking him over completely, it merely touched him.
Again, I think it says a lot that most of these Taken are just men who work in the lumber mill. But, you know.
When Thomas Zane fell for Barbara Jagger, it happened fast. She was young, vibrant, and beautiful, full of life. He had never been a very happy man, and without any seeming effort, she had changed all that. Zane felt good for the first time in his life. Everything she did was another piece of a jigsaw puzzle he hadn't even known he'd been missing. And best of all, she made the words flow, strong and sharp. She was his muse.
Wow. They sound incredibly annoying together. So, there's that. He doesn't feel familiar enough to be first named. You're right. No, you're right. He's not familiar enough to be first named. Okay, how do I get out there? Thank you. Really just got bringing midnight oil stuck in my head.
There was no way the flashbang grenades were standard power company equipment.
Okay, we get it, Alan. Jesus, somebody's helping you. We get it. Again, no idea why a mysterious being would choose to help you, but whatever. Pressing the wrong button to dodge as well, which isn't good. Oh, dead. Dead! Really don't get what the point of these little darkness blobs is, but maybe they turn into the enemies later on or something? Jesus Christ. Whew. Okay.
I stared through the bars of the jail cell. Barry stood behind me, swaying on his feet, looking as ill as I felt. Agent Nightingale stood on the other side of the bars with Sheriff Breaker. Nightingale had a stack of manuscript pages in his hand. He seemed
Hi,
unhinged
Layla.
as he gloated. Well, I've got you now, Raymond Chandler. It's all here. All the evidence, including conspiracy to murder a federal agent.
Heisted.
Hello. Hello, little baby. Hello, little baby girl. Who's your sweet little baby girl? Good girl. Good girl.
$1.25 million for moi. I wish. Conspiracy to murder a federal agent. A shame it was only a conspiracy. But you know, A for effort. Okay. Conspiracy to be really cool and based. Didn't even have to try that hard, you know. If you can even believe. Finders keepers. This way. Oh, fuck off. Finders keepers more like Alan Waker. I don't know that that makes much sense, but I A for effort.
I had no real plan. I was going to give the kidnapper all the manuscript pages I had for Alice. If that wasn't enough, I'd hold him at gunpoint and make him talk.
Ooh. I love those flashbangs. More where that came from, please. I also love a shotgun in a video game. Must be said. Ooh, light. I would surmise, based on much of what is happening in this game, that that means I am going in the right direction. Getting all these achievements, and I don't even know what I'm doing to deserve them.
The dark presence was moving ahead of me in the same direction I was going. A cold feeling settled itself in the pit of my stomach. Was it going for Alice?
Okay, we got a lot of crosses here, which... Yeah. It was giving graveyard. You know, Christian graveyard, obviously. The other guy went, but let's... Can hear ya. You're a tricky bastard, aren't ya? Seems to be a dead end, so... Let's have a look around.
The place was dead, a ghost town. Had been for decades, maybe a century.
Oh, fuck. Not the crazy inanimate objects. Okay. That should be fine. Cross the ghost town. Okay. Not ominous at all.
Things were never as simple in real life as in fiction. I had lost count of the times I had wished there'd be a clear reason for my writer's block. Something to fight. Something to lash out on. There wasn't. I was filled with doubt. I was nothing like the hero in my books. Alex Casey had gone through his life with single-minded determination, never wavering from his goal. Even now, I was angry at myself, angry at Alice, angry at Barry. I was fumbling and I had no plan.
Oh, if only I, Alan Wake, could be more like Alex Casey, the character that I write about in my books. So, apologies, it looks like I missed a bunch of manuscript pages back there. But, it is what it is. Hello again. The little lady. You can see she's very, very needy. She just loves to be fussed over, don't you? Who's a little attention hog? Gonna be hogging my attention at any given time, huh? You smell very nice, Layla. I know I'm playing a video game. Do you want to watch the video game? Even pissing inanimate objects off, Alan Wake. I want to know what their beef is. Like, what did you do to them? Besides from, you know, everything about you. Murdered by a train car. No, not a train car. Part of a train. Didn't see which part. Oh. Yeah. picture too much, I think. That one's really struggling, so... It's very close. Ooh, another trophy. I'm knocking it out of the park. I say after dying like 20 times. Okay, we have a key. I'm sure that's gonna come in handy very soon. Right away, in fact.
Anything outside of writing is a struggle. I feel ill. I managed to make my way downstairs. There's a shoebox filled with books and papers by Thomas Zane. It's very hard to focus, but I managed to read some of it. He's a poet, and a good one. He writes of muses and creators summoning fabulous things from a magic lake, using his powers to shape the world of a realm of gods and dreams and demons, dark things that wait for a chance to slip through, wearing the flesh of men as disguise. Zane writes about himself, his girlfriend being taken over by a dark presence, about growing scared of the lake. Zane believes it's a mirror to the gaping void of darkness above, where some Lovecraftian presence lurks. I crawl back upstairs.
His face.
I'll borrow these things for my story. They ring true. They fit.
His face was kind of hilarious. I'd rather have a shotgun than a hunting rifle.
The kidnapper had sent me a text. The message was full of spelling errors and insults. It was telling me to hurry up.
Full of spelling errors and insults. Like an angry YouTube comment.
Birds.
Oh, the fucking birds. Yeah. Yeah. You're never gonna get me, birds. Okay, so it's lumber workers and miners, actually. So he really has a thing about the working class in this town, like working in hard labor. Tunnels go to Cauldron Lake. Okay. it's a video game, Layla. It's a Biblio game. Have you ever played a Biblio game before? Manuscript page. Oh. But see, no, but see, and there we go. Ooh. Okay, I want to get killed pretty quick. Ah! Oh, guys, please! I just wanted my manuscript page! Ooh. All I wanted was my manuscript page, you guys! Oh, here we go. And some coffee. We're all good. See, Layla, running away works.
I'd have to make my way up this mine shaft in order to go on. Maybe the machinery could help me with that. Even behind the closed doors and curtains of his grimy room at the Majestic, the local motel, Nightingale could feel the locals' eyes on him, the unrelenting pressure of their judgment. He forced it out of his mind. For all he knew, they could all be under Wake's spell already. You do what you have to do to get the job done. He took comfort from the bottle in his hand. Please, he thought, just let me get through this.
Okay, sure. Yeah, it's there's something as well about, again, like the pacing is pretty off in a lot of ways, but just how like these manuscript pages are supposed to sort of give you some insight into some of these characters, but they don't in the end because, well, I don't know, there are just more effective ways for this game to convey some of that stuff, I think. Okay, that's... Ah! Wait. Hold on. Let me just try and figure this out. I don't... Hold on. Oh, okay, Alan. Ah! Come on, Alan. There we go. These jumping mechanics and stuff are pretty not amazing. The setting is giving Tomb Raider. It is a little bit. I was thinking about that. I was also thinking that. There's always, it very much like a sewer level, there's always got to be some kind of like underground mine level in a video game. Which I don't mind as much. I'm a real hater of a sewer level, but I don't mind a mine level. Hi, Layla. Just gonna move this hot chocolate away from you, Layla, because that's not good for you. I haven't played Tomb Raider in a long time, but I think I know what you're talking about. Do you mean the 2013 one as well? Because that's the only one I've played. Someday I'll be a real gamer and I'll play older Tomb Raider games. Come on, Alan, chop chop. Okay, is this it? Is this the Mirror Peak lookout, or... Ah, a manuscript page. Nice view.
Lightning flashed behind the windows of Cauldron Lake Lodge. Tor Anderson laughed and held the steel hammer above his head. Nurse Sinclair was trying to calm him down without success. Tor grinned madly and shouted, "My hammer's up. Here's a friendly poke from Mulner." He brought the hammer down with all his might on Sinclair's head. "We're on a comeback tour, baby."
What? What in the world? Trying to figure out how to get where I'm supposed to be going, but okay. Okay, yeah, I don't exactly... They're doing some kind of Norse mythology something, but I don't know what it is. Also, unironically calling someone wench is pretty crazy. Or maybe it was meant to be ironic, I don't know. The birds! The birds! Fucking birds, man. I've actually... Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds is a movie that has been on my list for a long time, but I still haven't actually seen it yet. They referenced it earlier.
Oh, great. Another cable car. Just great.
Yeah, you're right, there are indeed birds in that movie. Yeah. down these trees, man.
Shit.
Once again, I really can't blame you all for terrorizing Alan Wake, but I just wish that I didn't have to be involved. Well, unless the gameplay was that I was doing the terrorizing, you know what I mean? Imagine that. Imagine an Alan Wake game where you're the dark presence terrorizing Alan Wake. That would be fun. Cauldron Lake. The 8th deepest lake in the world, Cauldron Lake is a caldera lake, formed in a volcanic crater. The volcano itself could be considered to be active, but it has not erupted since the volcanic earthquakes of 1970, and even the underground activity was comparably mild. Despite some property damage, there were no casualties. Cauldron Lake is one of the most beautiful spots in the Bright Falls area, as well as a central figure in many local folktales. It's a popular recreational area for the residents. Okay. The lake. The mystery of the lake. That's not very good, is it? Okay, this is the pace that I have to look at. Oh no. I'm wondering if in Alan Wake 2, instead of using a battery-operated flashlight, he's just using the torch on his phone.
Maud had checked all of Stucky's rental cabins. There had been no sign of the Wakes. It was dark when he'd found their car parked at the end of the road by Cauldron Lake. It made no sense. They must have taken a wrong turn, but there was no sign of them, and the car had been there for hours already. Frustrated, Mott stood on the rotten ruin of the footbridge that had once led to Diver's Isle before it sank beneath the waves years ago. The boss wouldn't be happy.
Who was Mott? I think in terms of like, I guess again some of the stuff we were discussing earlier as well, I think that like a more balanced gameplay model where like most of the gameplay wasn't all just running around in the woods and shooting the same enemies over and over again, but like there was some variation, and some of that variation included like you know, environmental and character exploration and kind of like investigating the mystery a little bit more. I think that that would have been, that could could have been really effective as well. But I think because like a lot of the gameplay focus is just on like combat, and there's no, again, it's like kind of what I forgot who was saying this earlier. I think it was Raison d'etre, that like there's no sense of like curiosity. Tom, I miss you, Tom. CW and TZ. Thomas Zane and somebody that's not the other woman. You talk to me on TV, Tom. Tom, did you write this? I miss you, Tom. Okay, now this is interesting, you know? Now that's... I curse you, Thomas Zane. Interesting. Okay, well it seems I'm stuck here now, so I'm really gonna figure out. Here we go. Again, I have had my hopes kind of heightened by the hype for Alan Wake 2, so really pinning my hopes on that at this point. Not to say, like, I think that some of the gameplay elements here are pretty fun, like, now that I've gotten into them. Although I have, like, some nitpicky things that I might change in terms of the button mapping and stuff. But, yeah, if you're wanting to make this, like, meta-textual, like, supernatural murder mystery work, then I just think that some of that kind of variation would definitely be helpful. Alright. Okay. Cross the mountain ruins. Okay. All work and no play makes home, or something. I'm not sure I know what you mean, Dan.
I could see Cauldron Lake. I thought I could make out the spot where the island and the cabin had been. There was a light near it. It had to be a boat. I was close now. I had to get there fast. I dreaded what I would find.
Wake wakes up in the
I tried
lodge.
to hold on to Alice, but her form melted away. I was losing control. Dr. Hartman stood in her place. I wanted to hit him, but my arms were jelly.
Knees weak, mom spaghetti.
It was a reassuring smile, and I hated him for it. I had to give you a sedative. Don't fight it. You went through another rough period. Right now, it's very important that you stay calm. We don't want you to have another episode. You're a patient at my clinic. Have been for a while now.
Ominous. What were his arms jealous of? Probably the kidnapper who has his arms around his wife.
Wait! Are you? Wait!
Hey, I'm here! I'm coming!
Also, is his name Alan Wake because it's like some kind of play on like being awake? Wake up, Alan, wake up.
We don't know where she is. She's probably drowned. We just said we had her to make him play ball. You see? They got him writing for us.
Okay. Whoa, I wish I had my arms around my wife. I wish I had a wife. What's the point of arms if you don't have a wife, you know? Makes you think.